Okay, hello everyone. Today we are going to work with place value and operations. First, we're going to start off with an intros, then we're going to have a demonstration, then we're going to have an explanation, then we're going to practice as a class, and then I'm going to let you guys practice. So, our learning target for today is we're going to learn how place value and completing operations relate to each other. Okay, everyone, so we're all in fourth grade, right? And as we learn more about addition and we practice more about subtraction and division and all of our other operations, we tend to forget the place value of our numbers, right? So, for instance, if I have a number like 700, right? We all know that's 700. Why? Because we have a 7 right here in the hundreds place, but we also have two zeros to its right. So that's how we know it's 700, right? But now we can kind of get lost in that if we have to divide that by, say, 10 or 70. How do we know 70 is not 700? Well, we can just look to the right again. We have 7 in the tens place, and we have a 0 to its right. So you see the difference with the numbers. You have 7 here, but it has two friends to the right, and we have the 7 here, but we only have one friend. So we know that these two numbers are different, correct? And when you start looking at more difficult operations, for instance, or not more difficult, but just more less even numbers, more nicer, less nicer looking numbers. For instance, if we have 534 subtract for perhaps 216, we can kind of forget about place value with this operation here because we're actually thinking about subtraction. We're looking at the operation rather than the actual um, nuts and bolts of the problem, which is place value. So it's really important for us to kind of figure out the place value that we're working with and how that kind of goes into solving the problem. So let's even try to look at some other examples of this. So we have that, we have this is subtraction, this is division. Let's do addition. Let's do 456 plus 259. So you might ask me, how do I know that these numbers are hundreds of numbers rather than just tens, like this 70 over here? It's just like the other number we're working with, which was 700, but now we have actual whole numbers, or not actual whole numbers, but whole numbers other than 0 in these place values. So this is still in the ones place, the 6 is still in the ones place, right here. The 5 is still in the tens place, and the 4 is still in the hundreds place. And the same goes without saying for the 9 here, 259, the 5 here, and 259, and the 2. So how we could look at that again is 400 plus 50 plus 6. So if we break it up like this is actually what that number is saying right here. We have 400, so 100, another 100, another 100, and another 100. And this one right here, this number, 50, is actually telling us that we have 5 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lastly, this 6 is actually telling us we only have 6 ones. We don't even have a 0. It doesn't even have friends. It's lonely. So when we look at these numbers, it's really important for us to not get carried away with the operation, but for us to actually really look at what we're doing and make sure that we understand how big our numbers actually are. So that's kind of an exercise in that. I actually want you guys to practice. So we're going to actually work with a worksheet right now to give us a kind of visual of what we're doing. Okay, so here in this exercise, it says at the top, visual place value less than 20. Fill in the blanks to find the amounts. Okay, so this is really easy. It's almost like we're using manipulatives or like the blocks, but it's actually in picture form. So we have here, the first example tells us that we have one block of 10. So in this block right here, we see that there's 10 blocks in there. And this one over here has only 5 ones. So that would look like this in number form. So that is in visual form. That's in showing us with the picture. But in number form, it would look like this. You have only one block of 10s and 5 ones. And together, that would look like this. If you were to add them up, it would look like this. So do you see that? You have the 1 in the tens place and the 5 in the ones place. Did I say that properly? I meant to say that the 1 is in the tens place and the 5 is in the ones place. And so look at what we have here. We don't have any 10s at all, but we only have 4 ones. So we're not even going to put anything in the first. We're going to just have one single number right here. There's nothing in this spot. And over here, it helps you, it tells you to keep going on your own. So let's try this one. How many 10s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's clearly the same on the other side. So we can just do 5 times 2, which is 10. So we know we have 10 here. We don't have anything in the ones place. So we know we only have one block of 10s. Do you guys see how they tricked you there? They actually they put the 10s in a funny type of way to kind of throw you off. But that's that. And let's try a couple more. How about that? So these can get a little tricky. Let's see. This one here, number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have 8 ones. And we have 0 10s. So what does that look like, guys? Looks like that. And it goes on. Let me try to see if there's another one with both. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 1 10, one block of 10s, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is that going to look like, guys? We have 1 10, one group of 10s, and 6 ones. And that's what that's going to look like. Now let's try another worksheet. I think that was really good to see the visual, but now we're going to see one without a visual. Okay guys, so now this worksheet doesn't really have pictures. We're going to just have to go off of our understanding of place value. Okay, so it says compare the values of each of the digits. I've circled the ones I want us to kind of go over as a class. And then I'm going to let you guys go off and do one. Alright, so 474. So the question asks us, or asks us to say, the 4 in the ones place is the value of the 4 in the hundreds place. Okay, so the 4 in the hundreds place, 4 in the ones place is less than the value of the 4 in the hundreds place, or smaller. Okay, and you would ask, how is that? Because we know that this represents really, now we only have 4 singles. 400 singles are over here. So we know this number is larger. Alright, so we practiced that. And I want you guys to finish questions 8, 9, and 11. They're very similar to the other work exercises that we've done. And I think this really is going to help you guys understand place value and how we are going to add, subtract, and divide with these types of numbers. Good job, everyone.